Hey everyone, Pastor Jason here with the Bartlett United Methodist Church. So a question, what do these images have in common? Okay, yes, they are all people on horses. But do you know why they're on horses? I'll give you a hint. It doesn't have a thing in the world to do with the Kentucky Derby. All of these pictures feature circuit riders, which just so happens to be our topic today on 3-Minute Methodism. Circuit riders. Contrary to what the phrase might sound like, they're not electricians. Rather, circuit rider was the name by which lots of early American Methodist clergy were known. You see, in our country's infancy, when population was much sparser, as was the number of preachers to go around, many clergy were assigned to geographical areas known as circuits, comprised of 2 or more churches, which they would travel to minister to people and to organize congregations. Francis Asbury, one of the first American bishops, introduced the concept, and he lived it too, himself traveling over 270,000 miles and preaching over 16,000 sermons. Until the late 1900s, neither pastor nor congregation had any say in this process of assignment. Clergy would simply be sent to the places where people were settling. Much like today, pastors met during annual conference, if you remember that episode, where bishops would appoint them either to a new circuit or to stay in their current circuit. Usually, however, clergy moved every single year. The horse comes into play because circuit riders would travel on horseback between distant churches, sometimes needing 5 or 6 weeks to cover the longest routes, which kind of makes the few miles between churches that a modern pastor might have to cover in their Corolla seem like cake. They traveled through the wilderness and villages, preaching every day in homes and courthouses and fields and basements, even street corners. And this far-reaching activity, aimed at spreading the gospel, helped Methodism to become the largest Protestant group at the time. Might be a lesson there for us, don't you think? That's all we have time for today. We'll see you next week for another episode of 3-Minute Methodism. Until then, stay holy, my friends.